Liverpool's solution to a defensive crisis is an 18-year-old kid.
Okay, more now on our top story. Liverpool have agreed a deal with Parma for their 18-year-old centre-back, Giovanni Leoni. It will take their summer spend.
Well, not just any 18-year-old. Arne Slot and Liverpool have spotted something that the rest of Europe might have missed. This kid isn't just the future. He's the perfect blend of what Liverpool had and what they must have going forward. That's why the club is ready to spend 35 million on a player some might label untested. For Liverpool, signing Giovanni Leoni is about much more than that. To understand why Liverpool wanted him, we need to understand what he means for the team right now. For Slot, Leoni isn't just a signing, he's the answer.
To buy a Leverkusen, so they, Endo and Gravenberch can play there for the odd game, but they can't play 30-40 games in case Canate or Virgil van Dijk get injured, so they needed.
The Community Shield clash against Crystal Palace was a wake-up call. Yes, Liverpool started with what's likely their first choice back four, but a quick glance at the bench, not a single recognised centre-back in sight. That's a dangerous situation. And Slot has already had a taste of what can go wrong. Jarell Quansah left for Bayer Leverkusen in a £35 million deal. Joe Gomez is battling an Achilles injury. Ibrahima Konate has missed chunks of almost every season at Liverpool with recurring issues. Even Van Dijk missed a friendly with illness and returned with a shaky performance against Palace. Without Leoni, Liverpool were one injury away from starting the season with one or even zero senior centre-backs. That's the immediate hole he fills. Depth and cover in a fragile position. But this isn't just about filling a gap. Watch Leoni play and you'll see why his potential is frightening. When you've got Romelu Lukaku on the turf like that, you're not just a prospect, you're the real deal. At 18, Leoni has already played over 100 minutes in Serie A. And he wasn't there just to make up the numbers. His performances earned him those starts. Liverpool's style demands centre-backs who can play. And Leoni, he's comfortable on both feet, ranks in the 64th percentile for successful dribbles per 90 and boasts an 88.7% passing accuracy, putting him in the top 38% of centre-backs in Europe. What those two stats really tell us is that Leoni isn't just hacking the ball away. He's calm, composed, and deliberate in possession. Right now, he's more of a safe passer, preferring the nearest man option rather than threading risky, line-breaking passes like Van Dijk would. But remember, he's only 18. Give him time alongside Van Dijk, and that part of his game could explode in the coming years. Of course, playing for Palermo last season naturally limited how much he could showcase that ability. They ranked 17th in Serie A for possession, meaning Leoni often had to prioritize safety over creativity, avoiding risky balls over the top that might hand possession straight back to the opposition. Versatility is another big plus. Just because he played centre-back last season doesn't mean he's locked into that role. Leoni can slot in at right-back, and while Liverpool has depth there, we've seen similar adjustments before, like Joe Gomez, a centre-back, stepping in at right-back when needed. And if Arne Slot ever decides to go with a back three, Leoni has already shown at under-19 level with Italy that he can handle it. A defender who can adapt across multiple positions, that's priceless. But his biggest weapon? His physique. At 6'5", he's built like a tank, yet somehow moves with surprising agility. And in true Italian centre-back fashion, he's no pushover in physical duels. Last season, he ranked in the 70th percentile for duels won and the 68th percentile for aerial duels won in Serie A. Those numbers might not sound insane at first, until you compare them to Jarell Quansah, who sat at just the 5th and 9th percentiles for the same metrics. Suddenly, it's clear. Leoni isn't just extra depth, he's an upgrade. Think about it. A 6'5" defender who tackles like Franco Baresi trained him personally, and who also has the calm, modern composure on the ball. For Liverpool, that's the perfect package. Even compared to Van Dijk, whose passing is elite, and who ranks in the 94th percentile for duels won and 92nd for aerial duels, you can see the blueprint forming. The physical presence, the composure, it all points toward a partnership between the two at some point this season. And if that happens, attackers across the league will be in trouble. Sure, there's limited data on Leoni. After all, he only made his professional debut in 2023, at 16 years old for Padova in Serie C. But football isn't just about numbers. The eye test matters, and Liverpool has seen enough to make their move. That's the difference between them and the rest of Europe. They're willing to gamble now rather than pay triple the price later. It's elite-level scouting. Even with both Milan clubs circling, Liverpool acted decisively, betting on a future star before everyone else. He's only played 17 senior games, but the noise around him is real. And it's not just hype, it's genuine recognition. Last season, he ranked in the 84th percentile for blocks and interceptions, numbers that tell you this kid gets it. He understands that reading the game, intercepting passes, and positioning himself to snuff out attacks is far more valuable than diving into rash tackle. Leone was a crucial part of Parma's survival fight last season, and he delivered some huge performances along the way. Take his display against Juventus, for example. In Parma's 1-0 win, Leone recorded 6 clearances, 3 tackles, including a last-man tackle, 2 interceptions, 2 blocked shots, an 88% passing accuracy from 35 passes, won all 4 of his ground duels, and 3 out of 4 aerial duels. Against a Juve side pushing for Champions League qualification, he helped his team keep a clean sheet. That's why Liverpool's timing here is so smart. Wait another year, and Parma's asking price could easily double. Now, the big question, what's Liverpool's plan for him? Well, he's not the only new centre-back expected this summer.
Giovanni Leoni, what can you tell us?
That the club have agreed a deal, but he hasn't signed for us yet. So the moment when he signs for us, I can go into more detail. And the other one is, of course, the answer you always get from me.
Are you able to talk about that a little bit more broadly, though, and say what expectation you have of possibly getting hold of Mark Kane?
No. No, because he's not our player. And unfortunately, he was the captain of the team where we lost against last Sunday. So, no, if you want to have any talks about him, you should go to Palace, to Glasgow, and ask him his opinion about him.
Slot might be playing it down publicly, but the Mark Guehi deal is edging closer. At 25, Guehi arrives as a near-complete defender who can still hit his peak. And for Leone, that's perfect. It means Liverpool can give him time to develop without throwing him straight into the fire. We've seen what can happen when young defenders are rushed in. Just look at Manchester City's January signing, Abdulkadir Kusano. They paid 40 million for the 20-year-old, but when a defensive crisis forced him to debut against Chelsea, it went badly. He made an error that led to a goal, became Chelsea's main target, and was hooked by halftime. It wasn't that he's a bad player, it was simply the wrong moment. That's the kind of mistake Liverpool want to avoid. If Guehi arrives, Leone can start in cup games, ease into the system, and develop alongside world-class players without the immediate pressure of saving the season. Let's be honest, you don't spend 35 million on an 18-year-old unless you believe he's going to be a monster at 21. That's Liverpool's bet. And there's a bigger picture here. Signing Leone shows Liverpool and Arne Slot are thinking in 2 timelines. Short term, Leone is the safety net, the reliable cover Liverpool desperately needed. Long term, he's the perfect hybrid, the future anchor of their defense. Virgil van Dijk is now 34. In football terms, that's the final stretch. Maybe 2 or 3 more years at the very top before both player and club have to think about what's next. Ibrahima Konaté's future is also uncertain. Multiple reports claim he's refused to sign a new deal, which could turn into a repeat of the Trent Alexander-Arnold situation, leaving for free or for a fraction of his value. If that happens, then by the 2026-27 season, Liverpool's main centre-back options could be Van Dijk and Joe Gomez, who struggles to stay fit. With Leone, Liverpool have security for the next 5 to 6 years, maybe even longer. And if his development continues at the pace it's going now, by then we could be talking about one of the best centre-backs in world football. He's also part of what might be the start of a trend shift at Anfield.
What people, I think, tend to forget at the moment, you mentioned just $300 million spent, but people are forgetting how many money we've brought in already, not only this summer but also last summer. So last summer we had a big plus, so we We earned more than we spent, and this summer
This isn't a panic buy. It's a calculated move. Slot knows that after winning the league, the teams around them have only gotten stronger. He also knows that with players leaving, you need to replenish, and replenish smartly. Under Klopp, Liverpool's signings often came from players who'd impressed against the club, guys he'd faced and seen up close. Slot started in a similar vein, signing Florian Wirtz and Jeremy Frimpong from Leverkusen, players he'd watched against Liverpool in the Champions League and Milos Kerkez after facing him in the Premier League. But Leone is different. Just like Hugo Ekitike, this is about trusting the scouting network, identifying someone who fits the system perfectly, even without having played against the Reds. And it's not just Leone. The future at Liverpool looks exciting. They already have one under-18 talent making waves at the club, Rio Ngumoha. Now pair him with an 18-year-old defender they believe could be the next big thing in world football. And you start to see the genius in Liverpool's approach. Buy ahead of the curve. So what do you think? Is Giovanni Leoni the real deal? Liverpool's defensive future? Or will he become the second Italian in as many seasons to arrive at Anfield and fail to make a major impact? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe.